Hi, Dr. Pam Garcia here, and today I want to talk to you about how to really listen. So, first of all, why do I want to talk to you about this? Well, the reason is I think that listening is a rare art these days. So often when people talk to each other, they're preparing the next thing that they want to say, and they really aren't giving themselves the opportunity to really hear what the person is communicating to them, the person who they're listening to. So how do we really listen so that we really hear? One thing that I would recommend we do right off the bat is to set the intention to listen. So first of all, set that intention, decide, I'm really going to listen to this person. I'm going to work hard not to interrupt. I'm going to work hard not to be a biased person making conclusions and judgments along the way. I'm just going to really try to sit and listen and understand and be curious. The second thing is to approach it with presence. What I mean by presence is that being still and quiet inside so that you can really hear what the other person is saying. The third thing is to be able to repeat back what the person has said to you, using your own words, but getting the gist of what they've said to you is to make sure you really heard it and really understood it. So it's okay to pause the person and say, just a minute, let me make sure I really understand. So what I heard you saying is, and then fill in the sentence. That way, you can make sure you really understood it. Sometimes you'll find you really missed a lot or you didn't understand it, or the other person wants to clarify or elaborate on some parts to make sure you really get why they're saying what they're saying. Then the next thing is to ask questions when needed. So sometimes a person will say something like, he said blah, 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 or she said blah, 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 and you don't even know who they're talking about. Because they've said so many he's and she's and they's and what have you that you are confused about who they're even referring to. So that would be an example of when you could say, wait a minute, who are you referring to here? Let me make sure I got it. Let me make sure I understand. So those are all things that you can do to make yourself a better listener. Also, at the end, think back through the conversation for a moment and see if you have any other questions for that person. Because if you do that extra step, you might find that you can clarify even further. And then lastly, you want to not offer advice unless it's solicited, or unless you have something to offer, you invite that. So you could say, would it be okay for me to offer you some advice, for example? Because often if you do that, people will be more receptive to what you have to say. But if you don't do that, people will think that you were just busy preparing advice and you really weren't listening to what they had to say. Also, if you've really done a good job listening, sometimes the other person will offer their own advice and solve their own problem. But if they haven't, then they're going to be even that much more open to listening to your ideas too. I hope this was useful. This is Dr. Pam Garcia signing off.
This is my life, and I'm free.